Today is the 9th of April 2026, and this is the second day of the ceasefire agreement between the US and Iran. It's important to note that they're the only countries that officially entered into this agreement. It's been acknowledged widely by the Middle Eastern nations: Jordan, Qatar, Egypt, Pakistan, UAE, Turkey, Kuwait have recognised it officially, publicly, with public statements, but they're not party to this agreement, and neither is Israel. And so the attacks have continued, retaliation strikes from the UAE against Iran, specifically directly after the peace deal was made, and heavy hits from Israel against Lebanon, which people are criticising heavily, including the Gulf states, criticising and calling on international law and the UN to restrain Israel's attack and honour the sovereignty of Lebanon. In South Lebanon, they're targeting Hezbollah strategic targets, HQ, headquarters of their military activities, and that's all prophesied in many passages. People are referring to it as a similar kind of attack, displacing 1 million people, and currently now the dead and dying over 254 in this last reign of attacks. 10 minutes, 100 sites were hit. If you look at Tyre, the city of Tyre, referred to in Ezekiel 26:14, and multiple other places, Isaiah 23, 1-18, Jeremiah 25:22, Zechariah 9, 3-4, Amos 1, 9-10, and Isaiah 14:23. It refers to the city of Tyre, and this is southern Lebanon, where a lot of these attacks now are taking place. There's the center of the attacks. It says that this place will be bare rock. The prophecy is, it's a prophecy against Tyre by God. You will become a place for spreading fishing nets. You will never be rebuilt. I, the Lord, have spoken. It says, will not the coastlands quake at the sound of your downfall, when the wounded groan at the slaughter in your midst? It's prophecy, and whether or not you agree with it makes very little difference. It will be like Gaza, and that's what it's being likened to at the moment. And again, if you go look at the scriptures and prophecies about Gaza, Amos 1:6, Zephaniah 2:4, desolate it will be, and Zechariah 9:7, fire upon the walls of Gaza. And then Zechariah also talks about the Zephaniah 2:4, Zechariah also talks about the remnant returning to God in this last days, the latter days. So it is what it is. You know, you can follow wrong prophets, false prophets, or you can follow the true prophets, and God loves his prophets. Every word they speak will come to pass. So if you look at the prophets and you look at the events that are unfolding before your eyes in human history today, in the present tense, in real time, you'll see that every word spoken by God's prophets comes to pass. And that's why the scriptures are a good word, because we can trust that what he said he will do, he'll bring to pass, he will finish what he started. And this is what we're witnessing in real time, like it or not. So I ask God, I see the hands of Christ Redeemer outstretched today from Rio, and the words, I am Christ the Redeemer. That's what he called us to: redemption, the full restoration and redemption of all of creation. So line yourself up with his will and his heart, and be restored, redeemed, healed, and made clean and pure. So the ceasefire, directly after the agreement was made between the Americans and the Iranians, UAE reported 17 ballistic missile strikes from Iran, 35 drone strikes on the day, and Saudi Arabia also was hit, and damage occurred to the east-west pipeline that heads to the Red Sea that bypasses the Strait of Hormuz. The details of the ceasefire are unlikely to stop the conflict in its broader terms, but America will honour the terms of the ceasefire from their side to give them some respite and time to regroup and prepare themselves for the next round. So the UAE, from the beginning of this conflict, have reported 537 ballistic missiles. They have intercepted 26 cruise missiles, and 2,256 drones have entered into their territory, and they're standing firm, opposed to Iran controlling the Strait of Hormuz. They are standing firm with regard to free passageway through without fees and charges, and with regard to territorial integrity and international law that they expect to be honoured in the Gulf states by Iran. They do not agree with the IRGC and their current position. Iran, at the same time as agreeing with taking the high ground and claiming victory at the moment, and agreeing with these ceasefire terms temporarily, there's problems with their military command structure being decentralized, which is something that they learned after the Iraq war and back in the 90s, to continue to operate under a fragmented system that doesn't answer to any centralized command through the regions of Iran. And so the war is going to continue to rage on until they're completely defeated and their allies completely defeated. They were using human shields as a way to deter American strikes against bridges and power stations, which is a breach of Geneva Conventions, abuse of human rights. So they're not moral actors, even though they're taking the moral high ground at the moment. So we have a 12-day ceasefire agreement currently between America and Iran, which should take us up to about the 20th of April 2026, but violence has not abated. This is the word that I have regarding the temporary ceasefire.